Hello, and thank you for downloading this webcast. Today we'll be talking about the MENA Recruiting Trends 2017 report and everything you need to know about the state of talent acquisition. My name is Stephanie Fernandez. I'm the head of the Search and Staffing Division for LinkedIn in MENA, based here in Dubai. The agenda for today is I'm going to be telling you some snapshots about the survey. We'll be looking at how recruitment leaders perceive their teams. We'll be addressing key benchmarks and metrics which are worth monitoring. We'll also be looking at where budgets are being spent within recruitment, the impact of employer branding itself, and we'll be taking a look into the future and recruitment in 2020 and beyond. So why did you download this webcast? In order to plan for the future, you need to understand where you stand compared to your peers. The goal of this report is exactly that, to help talent leaders like you benchmark against teams across the globe when it comes to the most important recruiting metrics. This report is based on the survey responses of over 170 corporate talent acquisition leaders across MENA. All respondents are at manager level or higher and have some authority in their company's recruitment solutions budget. These survey respondents are LinkedIn members who were selected based on information in their LinkedIn profile, and we contacted them via email. Now we'll look at how recruiting leaders perceive their teams. The recruitment organization is not always the flashiest department. It doesn't necessarily bring in revenue or create game-changing products. Yet, it is often the quiet enabler behind these company successes, and it's not gone unnoticed. In recent years, talent and HR leaders in MENA have gained a prominent spot on the C-suite table, driving decisions about the future of the company. Despite the importance of recruiting, 46% of leaders in MENA foresee that their team size won't increase, compared to 61% globally. This means that as the hiring volume rises, recruiters need to get creative and automate their workflow. However, we will still witness some growth in MENA, where 43% of leaders stated that the size of their teams will increase in 2017, compared to just 32% globally. The recruiting teams that are hiring are focusing mostly on finding full lifecycle recruiters. However, another role that has entered in second place and that leaders would like to hire for in the future is employer branding specialists, indicating the increasing importance of creating a desirable workspace. Now we'll look at some key statistics. The majority of recruiting leaders indicate that they will be quite busy in the coming year. Over 60% of teams are preparing for an increase in hiring volume, while many budgets and recruiting team headcounts will stay flat. As you plan for 2017, think about how you can boost your team's productivity by using automation or new tools. When it comes to measuring performance, recruiters focus on metrics that have a lasting impact on the business. This is especially true in MENA, where recruiters are more focused on quality of hire metrics. These metrics could be the length of time a new hire stays at the company, or hiring manager satisfaction. This is more than in the rest of the world, where time to hire remains a bigger focus. The demand for operations and sales talent is so prevalent that recruiting teams in MENA have to start thinking more strategically about how to find and recruit these talent pools. Relying on data to pinpoint locations where the supply of talent is higher than the demand is a crucial first step. Another successful tactic is targeting each of these functions with highly customized employer branding content. The stats shown here illustrate the rise and reign of social professional networks, especially in MENA. It's also no surprise that employee referrals is coming in second place, as more and more companies start to develop strong referrals programs, given that referred employees are faster to hire, they perform better, and they tend to stay longer in the company. Competition for talent is definitely a challenge in MENA, as well as the rest of the world. With limited headcounts and budget, teams should focus on initiatives that can scale in order to address these issues. one of the most effective ways to differentiate from the competition is through employer branding. Craft messaging, which is the right blend between what your target candidates are looking for and the unique value proposition of your company. Getting this right will attract candidates that are a good fit, but it also means a lower turnover rate. Now we'll look at where budgets are being spent. Fewer recruiting teams will be enjoying bigger budgets this year, especially in MENA. In fact, over half of the teams surveyed will have to deal with a flat budget. This is yet another reason to think about investing your time in initiatives and tools which will bring you scale and allow for automation of time-consuming tasks. Despite talent leaders sharing that employee referrals are one of the top sources of quality hires, most of them barely invest in building out a strong referral program. The same with employer branding. Publicized as one of the most important trends, it is about the last place where teams invest. The bulk of the team's budget actually goes to more traditional tactics like posting jobs. If budgets were not an issue for teams, most leaders would prioritize investing in long-term strategic plays such as branding, upskilling their teams, as well as new technologies, instead of some of the short-term needs that they currently resource. In fact, here is a great list of big bets that you can explore in 2017. Now we'll take a deeper dive into the impact of employer branding. So most teams spend only a small portion of their budgets on employer branding. Yet here we can see that leaders overwhelmingly believe in its importance. One reason for this paradox is that employer branding return on investment is very hard to measure, and most teams cannot show a direct correlation between a stronger candidate pipeline and their branding efforts. Many recruiting teams are struggling with resourcing employer branding globally, but this is actually not the case in MENA, where 40% of leaders say their talent acquisition and recruiting team is primarily responsible for employer brand, compared to just 30% globally. However, marketing still plays an important role, with 20% of leaders stating that the marketing team is the main team they collaborate with on employer branding efforts. This usually includes joint ownership of social media channels and asset production, as well as tapping into the marketing team's promotion playbook. This partnership most likely accounts for the reason why many companies have up to 5 people managing their employer brand. So it seems that both candidates and recruiters are on the same page. Company culture is crucial when it comes to standing out from other employers. However, aside from culture, candidates are more interested in hearing about the company's fun perks and long-term vision, over and above the company's actual reputation. So make sure to emphasize these points when communicating with potential candidates. So most recruitment teams generate awareness by relying on LinkedIn and their website. Measuring the effectiveness of their efforts is, however, more challenging. And that's where, aside from web and social metrics, teams are getting more creative by looking at internal survey data and best employer awards. So now we'll take a little look into the future and recruitment in 2020 and beyond. Given that recruiters report limited headcount and budget, while hiring demands are growing, it makes sense that automation is top of mind for the industry. Automation would allow for speed as well as remove human bias. It would also allow for better ways to screen candidates for soft skills, with over 60% of hiring managers agreeing that this is a big challenge, and it's the number 3 trend in MENA. So hopefully I've given you a good taster of what the report entails. Here are my recommended 5 takeaways for you to take back with you today. Number 1, talent acquisition has a prominent seat at the executive table. Second, recruiters will be even busier this year and are focusing on quality of hire. Third, most teams invest in traditional recruiting tactics, but employer branding remains on top of their wish list. Number 4, employer branding is key to grabbing candidates' attention, especially when centered around company culture and benefits. And finally, in at number 5, screening automation, candidate relationship management tools for recruiting and soft skill assessments that predict job successes are the trends defining the future of recruiting. I would like to thank you very much for downloading and listening to this webcast. If you would like a copy of the full report, please click the download button here. Thank you very much.